Hi, so as I promised yesterday, I've gone on a 35-hour fast now. Today is July 5th. It is about noon. I started fasting early on the morning of July 4th at 1 a.m. and so 35 hours. And I made a commitment earlier this year in 2020 that every time I had a big event where I knew I was vulnerable to eating kind of problems, I've been battling with eating disorders for some time now, that I would go on a fast. Holidays, anniversaries, birthdays, special events. That way I could have something else to focus my attention on. Because every time I would eat too much, I would eat more and then more and then more. And I had a big problem when I first moved to Seattle. I they call it the freshman 15 when you go to school. I have a moving 15 every time I move, except that the 15 keeps adding onto the old 15, and I know I get very carried away every time I celebrate, and so I made it a tradition to celebrate by fasting. Yesterday, I had several big events I wanted to celebrate. The 4th of July, obviously. I Malia Obama's 22nd birthday. Happy birthday to her. The lunar eclipse, and also to mourn the loss of Iran Air Flight 655. I've known about that since a little kid, but this year, because of the All Lives Matter movement, I thought I would include them in the All Lives Matter. And so but this fast was kind of unique. I've done a few fasts in 2020, but this is the first time I have taken a break from fasting without replacing it with masturbating. I used to jack off a lot every time I would fast. It was kind of a replacement for the food. I wanted to stop doing that because eventually I'm already starting to interact with more people now that COVID-19 is starting to ease up a little bit, although it looks like we're going the other direction now. And when I go to the office and I go to the bathroom to jack off, it's very hard to clean up afterwards. I mean, you certainly wash your hands, you try to wash as best as you can. It's very hard to cover up what I'm doing. I need to stop. But unfortunately, fasting has caused me to masturbate even more. And so this time I made it a goal to go 24 hours without either eating or masturbating, and I've gone 35 hours. I'm going to be breaking the fast soon because it's been a much bigger challenge than I thought. I'll probably stay away from the masturbating for some time just to gain control of it. Um, yesterday, so I was abstaining from masturbating and fasting at the same time. I kept wanting to divert my own attention from it. I had gone to Wild Horses Monument to view the lunar eclipse, and it was the 4th of July, and it was a Saturday. And when I was a kid, one of my favorite songs was Saturday in the Park by the Chicago band. It goes, Saturday in the Park, I think it was the 4th of July. And how ironic, I spend a Saturday in the park on the 4th of July. I've been waiting my whole life to do that. And so I kept singing it over and over and over, except I didn't even know all the lines. I made up some of the lines. I made up how people standing 6 feet apart, a mask on their face. I'll probably sing a parody of that later tonight because it was so funny how I didn't even know the words. I only knew the Saturday in the park, I think it was the 4th of July part of it, because that really applied yesterday. But it just goes to show of how interwoven eating and masturbating are into my routine, that not doing them is such an active activity for me. I need to change that. I used to have to hide out to masturbate all the time, in the bathroom, at work. I used to keep a lot of clothing in my car just so I could go to my car, cover up, and then do my business there. And yesterday, when I kept having to divert my attention away from those thoughts, it made me realize how interwoven it has been into my life. It's almost like a smoking habit. Actually, a couple of weeks ago, I had gone to the grocery store. This guy was standing just outside the door. He had his mask on. He would take off his mask, take a drag on the cigarette, and then put the mask back on. And I'm thinking to myself, COVID-19 is probably not nearly as dangerous as smoking. Smoking kills, what, 1 to 2 out of every 3 people? COVID-19, what, 3%? And why don't you put your effort into quitting smoking instead of the mask? That was kind of funny to see. Anyways, 35 hours, but I'm probably going to be breaking it soon. Thanks for watching.